Happy Monday. Welcome to another sneak preview. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
I'm Caleb Berger.
and today we're discussing the long-awaited threequel, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Fantastic. Been waiting for this one for quite some time, way before the pandemic. Ghostbusters 3 was just something every fan's really been wanting for years, but never thought they'd actually get. And here we are.
Yeah, it's like the 100th film it feels like affected by COVID, and I think other than like the Batman, probably one of my most anticipated that we finally got.
Yeah, especially since this looked like a righting the wrongs kind of movie, and we'll get into all that in a bit. But definitely, in my opinion, the second best Ghostbusters movie we've ever gotten.
Yeah, this one it's high up there for me. It's a really good movie.
Sweet. I'll also say a little bit about the new Netflix musical Tick, Tick, Boom, but we weren't able to get to King Richard in time. Maybe in the future, maybe next week we'll bring it up if we get to watch that. But before we get into it, let's see what happened last week in film. Last week in film. We got 5 trailers to discuss, all of them second looks. First, the second trailer for Pixar's new movie, Turning Red, comes out March 11th. Pixar's track record speaks for itself. But something about this just doesn't seem like they're trying that hard.
Yeah, they have a good track record, but I remember when I saw the trailer for this, I wasn't like, usually I walk away going, oh, that's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Usually for me when it hits Disney Plus, but not this one. I'm kind of going, okay. I think it's just because it's like since Inside Out, Pixar's been on a real like emotion related movie now. Because like Soul was along those same lines. I haven't seen it. I heard it's really good though. But this just feels like them going through that. For me at least, it's like they're chasing that theme again for like the third or fourth time in a row. And it's like, all right, stop making these kind of movies.
Well, and it's just such an odd concept. A little girl, when she gets emotionally upset, turns into a giant red panda. Okay. I don't know, beyond that. Then again, we are getting kind of old. So maybe we're not the target audience here.
This is true. I'm turning 29 next month. So
yeah, I don't want to be the only adult man in the theater in a sea of kids and me being just like, this isn't connecting with me at all. I don't want to be that guy. So maybe we just skip this one.
It might be for the best.
Yeah. Next up, the second trailer for Prime Video's Encounter comes out December 10th. And this trailer, in my opinion, vastly different from the first trailer, makes the film look more psychological. It might not be an alien invasion. This might just be all in Riz Ahmed's head. I don't know, but I'm definitely intrigued.
I definitely missed this trailer somehow. Yeah. It seems like I swear, between Blazecast and IGN, I write down every trailer that they post about that comes out. And still I miss them, especially with these streamers, because they just fucking keep releasing movies.
You got to add IMDb to your checklist also, because they are very current with all platforms trailers.
Okay, that's probably what I have to do, because I didn't see this trailer. I missed it. I know Riz Ahmed from the movie he did when I was on deployment with Prime. I think it was it Sound of Metal, I believe it was called. That I know he got like a lot of buzz for. I haven't seen it yet, but I know that's like where he seems like a big launch for him was that movie.
That movie was lights out, really good. We just talked about that on Oscar Sunday a couple weeks ago with Nomadland. Sound of Metal was one of the films it was up against for Best Picture. And it really deserved a spot there. It's a fantastic film about loss and acceptance and, coming to terms with disability. It's a very good movie. But Riz Ahmed's definitely a rising star. And this looks like another feather in his cap. Here's hoping. Next up, the second trailer for Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley comes out December 17th. Got a lot more story points in this trailer. And I think this is going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, look, other than my repeated bemoaning about for them releasing it on the day they're releasing it, This looks awesome. I love Del Toro. I cannot wait for this. Each trailer just keeps making me more excited.
Yeah, for sure. It is a shame this is going to make no money at all because it's coming out the same weekend as Spider-Man. I don't know what harebrained executive made that brilliant decision, but they're not going to have a job in January.
It's like they're trying to sabotage Del Toro. I don't understand. The thing is that's crazy to me is that they moved it up. This isn't a push back. This was a move up. So it's like, okay, move it up one more week, maybe. So I just have a weak chance.
Yeah, I don't get it. Studio executives have had a hard on for Guillermo for God knows how long. They just can't stand whatever his like, vision is. They just can't get on board with it. They never have been able to figure him out. And now I guess they're just tired of dealing with him. It's crazy.
Oh God, it's so annoying. Like, I know like The Witcher season 2 comes out that day, but that's like a Netflix show, so it's like whatever. I can go watch Spider-Man, go home, start binging season 2. But now you're doing 2 theater only releases, one of them being a fucking MCU movie, and probably I would argue the most anticipated one. I know that like between that and Shang-Chi, I would say Spider-Man and Shang-Chi were the 2 most anticipated Marvel films this year.
Spider-Man, I haven't seen a level of hype like this in a very long time. Just everything that's, all the speculation, the idea that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield may return in some capacity. And there's just a lot riding on this one. The fan expectations have gotten out of control. And I really hope that it lives up to everyone's visions, but at this point, I don't see how it can. I'm going to remain optimistic because I'm very excited.
Well, people look, the movie's probably going to be like super awesome, but people are going to fucking hate it because their expectations are so high.
Yeah, it's a problem. But you know what? I don't care. I'm excited. All I know is Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Thomas Hayden Church, Rhys Ifans, and Jamie Foxx are all back, and that alone is enough to make me freak out. So bring it home.
I'm excited for that. So
next up, the second trailer for Netflix's Don't Look Up comes out December 24th. This looks phenomenal. Adam McKay has had a hell of a track record transitioning from like ridiculous comedy to kind of, politically topical comedy. And I think this is just going to be amazing. Incredible cast, a great premise. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's weird too because I know a lot of people love his transition in his more recent works. I have actually not seen any of his comedies since he's made the transition. Not because I'm not interested in any way. I just haven't had a chance to watch them.
I recommend just taking like a day and having a double feature of The Big Short and Vice. You'll have a good time.
I heard both are great. So, but I watched it for this and like it does look really good to me. I like the cast he has, and it looks it's still very much the Adam McKay humor that we've grown to know from his more raunchier comedies he did, but with a lot more like I would say probably like a lot more wit and sharpness to it, or almost like more sophistication because it's not as raunchy. So I don't know, it looks good, and I do need to check out his other stuff since he made the transition to this type of comedy.
Well, it's cool if you look at like Anchorman and just kind of work your way through all the way to Don't Look Up. You can definitely see a director honing his craft and really kind of shaping what he wants to say, and that's really cool. The other guys is kind of his like, middle ground transition period, because that movie kind of is both of them. It's political comedy mixed with his raunchy, ridiculous comedy. And then from there, he just went, The Big Short, Vice, and now Don't Look Up. Brilliant. Yeah, I think this is going to be cool. Finally, the second trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home comes out December 17th. Even the hype for this trailer was crazy. They had a Twitter countdown. Like, this thing is out of control. It's turning in. It's got a life of its own now. The movie, like, Marvel has no control. Kevin Feige has no control. Sony has no control. Spider-Man No Way Home just exists as its own independent entity. and it is going to either melt fans' brains or piss everybody off. I feel like there will be no middle ground.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's almost terrifying how out of control this hype is getting, because it's going to be a point where like people are going to either love or hate this movie. I'm personally keeping my expectations in check. Like, don't get me wrong, I am excited as shit for this movie, but I'm keeping my shit in check. So I want to enjoy this movie.
I feel like at this point, if multiple Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, Black Cat, Daredevil, Kingpin, Hawkeye, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Deadpool, and Gizmo the Mogwai don't show up, people are not going to accept it. Like everything, they need to throw the whole kit and caboodle into this movie, or someone out there is going to be like, "You fucked up Spider-Man." Like, it's insane. Oh, but this trailer looks great. We got to see the first look at Defoe's Green Goblin return, which made me smile. So excited to see they're using the classic costume, and like he's 100% back. And of course, you had Molina's Doc Ock telling Tom Holland, "You're not Peter Parker," which confirms he is from the Tobey Maguire universe. So that's his Peter, which tells me like we're gonna see him.
They're going to be in the movie. They may not be in like a large chunk of the movie, but I would not be surprised if they're in the movie.
I love that this whole time Andrew Garfield has been like, "Stop harassing me. I'm not in the movie. Leave me alone." Whereas Tobey Maguire is just walking around New York City with Spider-Man props. He has a fucking poster. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
He's like, hell, I'm in the. Well, yeah, because let's be honest. When's the last time we've seen Tobey Maguire in something?
Fair enough. Yeah, he needs the spotlight a little bit, but he's been telling random fans like, "Yeah, I'm in it." Just he's not saying it on camera. That's the problem. Andrew Garfield's doing like talk show circuits promoting movies like, The Eyes of Tammy Faye and Tick Tick Boom, and of course everyone's like, "So you in Spider-Man?" And he has to keep saying like, "No," because Marvel will make him disappear if he says anything else. It's crazy. I love the juxtaposition there. Andrew keeps being harassed. Tobey won't shut up.
No one's asking Tobey, but he's like, "You guys want to know if I'm Spider-Man?" Not really. I'm in Spider-Man. I care. You know what? I care because my favorite, because of my childhood, is still Tobey Maguire. So I care, Tobey.
I'm with you, man. I've got a special place in my heart for those first two movies. 3 isn't great, but I got to admit, over the years, I've warmed up a little bit.
It's better than, to me, it's better than, I'll sit through it before I sit through Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yep, I'm with you there. The very least, you got characters we loved. We've got J.K. Simmons doing another great Jameson. You've got, Venom was fucked, but you got Sandman, who's great. Mm-hmm. The Franco storyline is not done great, but I don't hate it.
It's okay.
But we'll have plenty of time. December is going to be big Spider-Man month for a lot of our shows, so I'm excited to just kind of get swept up in the hype.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm keeping my expectations checked because, like, at the end of the day, I'm excited. It's the next MCU Spider-Man movie. I really enjoyed the last two.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm really trying not to get swept up in all the hype because it's just insane, and I don't want to get all this hype and then walk away disappointed and mad at something that it isn't when I wanted to accept it for what it is.
Well, also, at the end of the day, you really just got to keep reminding yourself that it's just a movie, that it's got no real impact on the trajectory of your life. It's just a Spider-Man movie that comes out in December, and you either love it or you hate it and you move on.
Yeah, and best part is it comes out the day after my birthday, so birthday weekend for me. Know what I'm saying?
Nice. I think I got Scream as my birthday movie, which is pretty sweet.
Nice. I think I get Aquaman 2 next year.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's like literally the day, and I was like, "Oh, nice,
cool." It's always cool when you get a birthday. I remember back in elementary school, I'd have birthday parties at the movies, and I'd always hope something really good came out. But I was born in January, so the odds of that happening were low. Of course, these days, doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I will say, like, if it helps with December, it's 50-50. Like, every so often I get like some of them like, oh fuck yeah, I do want to see that. That's a good birthday excuse movie. Then every so often I'm like, nope, I'm good. I don't need to see that.
That's right. You're surrounded by Oscar bait, so
Yeah.
hopefully you get a blockbuster or two to enjoy. Oh, good times. So that's all the trailers. I got two more bits of news. This was interesting. Mel Gibson is going to be stepping into the late Richard Donner's shoes to direct Lethal Weapon 5. Gibson will also star alongside Danny Glover. I know a lot of people have their issues with Mel Gibson. He's a complete anti-Semite piece of shit. I agree, but also I really like Lethal Weapon, so I'm going to go ahead and see this as good news.
Yeah, I know it's like we've talked about before, like separating the art from the artist, and I do actually I want to understand where people are coming from. I really do. Like the things he said to like the cop and the tape and like a lot of his views that got put out to public, like
yeah, I would never dream of calling anybody sugar tits, let alone a cop.
Yeah, like I would 100% understand people's stance on this because there was the same outcry when it was announced that he got the lead part for that Continental show.
Oh
the
yeah,
John Wick spinoff. So
yeah.
I get it, but at the same token, like Lethal Weapon 5, the way it's just shaping, it's going to happen. Even if you don't want it, it's going to fucking happen. Someone's going to goddamn make this goddamn movie.
And again, like, just don't see it. If you don't like Mel Gibson, that's fine. Just don't see the movie. But
yeah,
that doesn't mean you have to take it away from everybody else.
Yeah, like because look, at the end of the day, it's going to happen. And look, who better to direct the Lethal Weapon movie since Donner's death? If it isn't either Mel Gibson or Danny Glover. Glover, I don't think has ever directed in his life. Probably has no interest in it. Gibson has. He's an Academy Award-winning director, for Christ's sakes.
Yep.
So, like, just yeah. If anyone's gonna do it, let him do it.
Makes sense to me. I think it's I think he's doing it for Richard Donner. They were prepping this together when Richard Donner died, and I'm glad they're going to go forward with it, kind of, in memory of one of cinema's most underappreciated filmmakers of all time. So I'm going to be there. I'm going to see this. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll check it out, especially if it's like supposed to be the last one, like they've been talking about it being.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Hell yeah! I wonder if Joe Pesci's going to come out of retirement again. Probably not.
I mean, he did it for The Irishman.
But that's Scorsese, and De Niro and Pacino. Like, that was a big deal. Lethal Weapon 5, I feel like, he doesn't give a fuck. But we'll see. Maybe not. Oh, my mistake. I have 3 more bits of news. Paramount Plus is developing another Reno 911 movie titled Reno 911: The Hunt for QAnon, which sees the Reno Sheriff's Department going after the non-existent leader behind the wackadoodle QAnon conspiracies. Premieres December 23rd. And I'm so glad that people are like that studios are keeping this alive. And I think this will be ridiculous, but worth it.
Yeah, Josh showed me because he was freaking out. And then that's when I texted you. I was like, oh my God, they're doing a new Reno movie. Like, yes. Look, man, Reno 911 was one of the funniest fucking shows on TV. And to see it still going and getting a movie and for it to be so timely with the QAnon thing, it's just, to me, it's going to be, there's so much fruit there for a joke with QAnon, what we've gone through, that it's like, how can you not make a fucking great comedy out of this? It's like with South Park specials recently, they've just been so fucking funny with them attacking the pandemic. They're actually coming out next week with the post-pandemic special. So I'm loving these jokes. Keep it coming. And QAnon, of all the fucking things I've heard through various memes, I'm not gonna get into it here on the recording, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Definitely a group that needs to be made fun of as far as I'm concerned.
Those people are batshit crazy, and nothing anybody says will convince me otherwise. Did you hear about all the people who showed up in Dallas expecting JFK Jr. to rise from the grave? What the fuck, man? These are real people. They vote. They have kids. Like, these people exist. It's insane. Like hundreds of people were like just waiting for JFK Jr. to show up and be like, "Yep, I'm running for president." Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
So these guys are ripe for a parody.
Yes, they are.
Ugh.
No, wait. I thought South Park. Well, actually, who knows? Maybe the post-pandemic special will tackle that. And they did kind of tackle it with the last two specials. But I can't wait to see them and Reno 911 just fucking have the way with them, for lack of a better word. Officer Dangle is on the case.
Yeah, they need. Oh God. Last bit of news. I thought this was fucking crazy. Finally, epic character actor Delroy Lindo has joined the cast of Marvel's new Blade film, joining Mahershala Ali. Lindo's character is being kept under wraps. The film's release will likely be in 2023, maybe later. But Delroy Lindo is, they think, is playing the original character from the comics that Whistler was based on. I didn't know this, but the original Whistler was black, and the 98 movie turned him white and made him Chris Christopherson.
Really?
Yeah, the character's not named Abraham Whistler. I don't remember what the original character's name is, but it wasn't Abraham Whistler. So they're going back to the character's roots in a big way, and I hope it is Delroy Lindo who's playing Blade's, like, mentor.
I'm down for that. Look, as long as I just get a cameo by Wesley Snipes, I'm all in.
There's no way they won't. Snipes has already voiced his approval of Mahershala. He's given him, like, way to go, good luck. So there's no bad blood there. So I'm betting he is going to have a cameo of some sort.
He has to. Like I said, he's been actively trying to fix a lot of what he himself broke, and the fact that he's man enough to like admit that and be like, I need to fix some shit.
Yeah,
like, is good. And I really feel like him at least doing a cameo is a step in that direction. Like, showing like, no, I'm fixing it. And I thought Dolomite's My Name was one of those steps he took to do it, because I really liked him in that. But
well, dude, with all this multiverse shit, who's to say he isn't just playing Blade again?
Oh, I didn't think about that with the multiverse. What if he does pop up? It was like,
yeah, like multi-universal Blade, and he's just like, you know what, you got this in this universe. Good luck, kid, or something like that. Like, I would lose my shit.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Oh boy, we can dream. As Feige's kind of proving with this new Spider-Man and like Loki and all this crazy shit, anything's on the table. That's exciting. There's nothing too crazy for Marvel right now.
What a time to be alive for a comic book fan.
I know, right? Every day I'm like, yes. My dad, huge comic book guy. He grew up in like the 80s and 90s when you like got a superhero movie every like 5 years, and usually it sucked. So yeah, I can't imagine. Great.
Yeah. I like how you say yes. I'm like, well, with the MCU stuff, it's usually yes. But you know what? I'll go on and for once go to bat for DC. Their fandom this past October put a lot of hope in me for their future slate of movies. It looks like they finally are figuring their shit out.
Well, I've got hope for the first time. Like, the Suicide Squad was great. The Batman looks awesome. Black Adam looks awesome. Aquaman looks awesome. Shazam 2 looks awesome. Like, I am in. Like, this looks cool. I'm excited.
You don't want to say anything about The Flash with Ezra Miller?
Oh, I forgot about The Flash. That looks awesome. Like, there's so much to look forward to on the DC slate that they actually look like they're trying with every project this time. So I say bring it. I've always walked in both worlds. I've been a Marvel fan and a DC fan my whole life. I think it's stupid to just pigeonhole yourself and be like, no Batman, Iron Man only. Like, just enjoy everything. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm on board for both. I've always wanted DC to actually give me the good movies I know they can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like they finally figured their shit out. I was reading up their plan, that obviously, like, the way the guy who's in charge of it right now, so he goes, surefire bets, like essentially Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, the Batman, like, those will get the big theatrical window, and they'll really put, big stuff on that, things that they feel that they can get that big theatrical experience from. And then they said the riskier stuff, the more smaller scale riskier stuff, will be designed as HBO Max exclusives. So they're not putting any less love in it. They're just saying, like, look, this is riskier. We want to do good. We don't know if we'll necessarily make that kind of money, so let's at least put it on HBO Max, and it's still getting put out there to people.
I like that. I like that
Yeah.
game plan. I mean, we're seeing, we're getting the Peacemaker show next year. That looks hysterical.
Yeah.
Uh,
That goal is apparently happening.
yeah, Batgirl's actually happening. Brendan Fraser got the villain role. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Static Shock, I think, is moving forward on there. So
I heard about that. Yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
Like their game plan they got going on right now, I think is actually pretty solid. And what they are wanting to do. I think it's like I said, I think they finally figured out what they want to do and they're moving forward with it. And now it's just a plan of like, hopefully, because I got scared when Suicide Squad didn't do so hot. And I thought, oh shit, they won't get scared and change it. The fandom to me said, no, we understand there was some, not necessarily the movie, but there were circumstances beyond control with Suicide Squad's box office. But fact of the matter is, a lot of you people who watched it liked it, the critics liked it, so we're not scared. We're not going to turn tail and run. We're going to stick to our plan and give you what you want. And that's what I got from the fandom. And I actually cannot wait to see what DC has up their sleeve next year now.
Yeah, it's nice to have, to expect good shit from both companies for once. I don't know if we've ever been in that position. I don't remember ever getting to, looking forward to both. I remember always looking forward to Marvel and then being pretty hesitant on the DC side. But this time I'm like, bring it on. Like, this is going to be great.
Yeah. Like I said, and for me personally, the only one I'm iffy on is The Flash. But that's because I know I've said it before, I'm not a big Ezra Miller fan. His intro to that trailer was like really terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah, I was like, but with that said, I mean, you got fucking Michael Keaton come back. You got Ben Affleck, who I'll go to bat for as Batman. I actually thought he was pretty good.
You just go to bat.
Go to bat. I just, again, kind of like Cameron Cavill, I think he got handed a shit script. So,
yeah.
Those two got me more excited than Ezra fucking Miller. And who knows, maybe because I'm so lowered on my expectations with him that I walked away impressed.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just psyched to see Michael Keaton in the cape and cowl again. He's always been my favorite live action Batman. And this is just so magical that he's coming back. I read something cool about the Batman earlier today. Apparently there's speculation that Barry Keoghan's character may secretly be set up to be the Joker in future installments. So maybe.
Okay.
It is weird to cast somebody as Barry Keoghan, who's a pretty solid up and comer, as GCPD detective number 4. So we'll see. I don't know. I just know that movie is my most anticipated of 2022, and the more I see about it, the more I get super excited. So yeah, as I've kept saying this episode, bring it on.
Yeah, bring it all on.
So that is all that happened last week in film. Before we get into Ghostbusters, I wanted to say a little bit about Tick, Tick, Boom, which I was able to watch on Netflix. Solid musical.
So I actively chose not to watch it. So go ahead.
I know you don't like musicals. It's okay. It's a very enjoyable film. It's based off of Jonathan Larson's one man or like 3 men musical, where he voiced his frustrations about his first play, Superbia, not taking off. So reminded me a lot of Adaptation. Jonathan Larson, if you don't know, is the playwright who wrote Rent, and tragically died on Rent's opening night of an aneurysm. He never got to see Rent be a success, which is very sad. He was only 35 years old. And just hit him out of the blue. And Andrew Garfield does a phenomenal job playing Larson. Playing the whole starving artist thing, but just endearing enough so you don't hate him. Because he does alienate his friends and family for the sake of his art. But the whole time you kind of get it. Like, this is, he's cared about this his whole life. You understand why he's doing this. And he's not a bad person by any stretch of the imagination. He's just dedicated. And the music's enjoyable. The supporting cast is great. It's Lin-Manuel Miranda's directorial debut. And he was Jonathan Larson was a big influence on his work. Larson's pretty much like idolized in the theater community. Rent changed the scope of Broadway musicals and what you could do with it. So I'm glad he got his story told. I hope people watch this. I think this is going to make a splash at the Oscars. And who knows? Maybe Garfield will walk away with a statue for this. He would earned it. Like, it was good. 8 out of 10.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll wait to see on Andrew Garfield pop up in Spider-Man, even though he claims he's not.
Yep. That's all anybody's been saying about his Tick Tick Boom press tour has been like, yeah, it was great. It was great. So are you in Spider-Man? And he'll be like, no, I'm more than Spider-Man. I'm doing other stuff. Like, he's starting to get like, please give me a chance.
Andrew, it won't go away until the movie comes out.
If he is in it, I want him to go on a press tour again and be like, gotcha, bitch, just the whole time. Like, that would be great. Him and Toby and Tom together just being like, yeah, we got you. Even though everyone's like, no, you didn't. We knew the whole time.
We knew. It's fine.
Yeah. So Tick Tick Boom. King Richard's on HBO Max. If you don't want to go see it at the movies, I've heard great things. I do plan to watch that this week sometime. So I'll talk more about that next week. And then Come On is just incredibly hard to find because it's a super indie film. And Black Friday, I believe, is getting a VOD release next week, which will be easier to access. So there you go. But the big one this week was Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's the culmination of decades of attempts to get Ghostbusters 3 off the ground. The original idea way back in the 90s saw the Ghostbusters going into hell itself to fight the devil, who I believe was named like Lucifer or something like that. Like something kind of cheeky.
Lucifer.
Yeah, it was like the devil. His name's Lou. First name Lou, last name Cipher, which is cute, but I think he was like supposed to be a guy in a suit who's like, hey, I'm the devil. Let's party. I don't know. Aykroyd, Ramis, and Murray couldn't agree on a script. So the thing got shelved indefinitely. And it looked like this was never going to happen. Bill Murray, especially, was notorious for he kept shredding the fucking script and sending it back to Dan Aykroyd and being like, this is shit. Give me something better, which is a pretty shitty thing to do to your friend. But, Bill Murray's an enigma.
He really, look, man, we all love Bill Murray, but he's an enigma.
Yeah. Which is the Hollywood way of saying prick. But you know what? Let him, he's in his like 70s now. He's in his Wes Anderson phase. Let him do whatever he wants. Who cares? So Ghostbusters 3 was dead until 2016 when Paul Feig and the Gal team dropped the ball and everyone hated it. So the Ghostbusters were like, maybe. And then Harold Ramis's death was the clincher. That's when they were like, you know what? We need to do something about this. And Bill Murray was finally like, you know what? I didn't get to properly say goodbye to my friend, and I regret that. So let's do Ghostbusters 3. And here we are. Spurned the return of the original lineup, and the movie fucking rocked, personally. As a longtime Ghostbusters fan, pretty much my entire life, this was everything I wanted and more. I loved this movie.
It took us so long to get this damn movie. Because like you said, first Bill Murray was kind of like the big one, main role. Hesitant on what he wanted to do. He, there's a famous story where he sent the script back shredded.
He doesn't like sequels. The man, he didn't want to do Ghostbusters 2. I think he just doesn't like revisiting characters or something. I don't know. But this one, Dan Aykroyd especially has been just holding out hope for God knows how long for Ghostbusters 3. This is his baby. He's been wanting to do this for decades. And, I love Ghostbusters 2. I know a lot of people have a beef with it. I have no beef. I'm Team Vigo all the way. But I get why people wanted more. I've always wanted more. Never felt like I was going to get it. And I'm sad that it took a horrific remake and the death of Harold Ramis to finally have this movie happen, but we did get it. So
this is, it may have taken a while, but we got it, and that's what's important. Like, I think I read that him and Bill Murray and Harold Ramis got along right. Like they made up right before he passed.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, like, even if you finally made up, right, and you got along, like, that has to sit on you. So, knowing that he more likely did this in honor of Lord Ramos really, to me, says a lot.
Well, I mean, you can't make up 20 plus years of animosity over like a weekend with some beers. And they needed more time and they just never got it. And I don't think that's ever going to sit right with Bill Murray.
Yeah, no, I don't think it will, and we'll get to it more, but there was definitely like a scene towards the end of it where I felt like it was very genuine emotion coming from him.
Oh, yeah.
And really from the whole cast, like, because that, at the end of the day, these guys were friends. And Bill Murray, not just Bill Murray and Harry Ramis, but, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, like, this was a big move for them. This is like I said, an iconic film for them. So to see them able to, do this and see them in it again, even if it's for a little bit, is just awesome. And I'm sure very emotional for them. It was definitely emotional for me watching it, but I can't imagine for them.
Oh man, towards the end, I was like, I kind of figured something like that was going to happen, but seeing it was an entirely different experience, and it really did. It brought tears to my eyes. Just it was done so genuinely and with real love that it never felt exploitive at all. And yeah, well done. God, after seeing the scores for this, I'm like, damn, is it really worth it? And then I went in, I'm like, yeah, 100%, this is worth it. I don't understand, like, what is wrong with nostalgia? What's wrong with giving people a taste of something they loved? What's wrong with that? I mean, I saw a list on this website. It was 5 things wrong with Ghostbusters Afterlife. And one of them was the film relies too much on nostalgia and the old movie and doesn't provide enough new stuff. And another complaint was there's not enough screen time for the old cast. So, like, what the fuck do you want?
We're literally complaining about one thing, but then complaining about the other.
Yeah, you're what's wrong with this whole thing.
Like, you are the issue.
Yeah, like on this, on all of our shows, we try to at least make fucking sense. I mean, that's stupid. So that really got under my skin. But I had no problem with the music cues and seeing stuff from the old movie and the old team coming back in the last second. Like, all of that was exciting to me. It felt like Ghostbusters again. And that's at the very least, that's what I wanted. I wanted Ghostbusters 3. I didn't want another reboot. I wanted a continuation, and this is it. This is a good kind of cap off. Like, I don't think we need more. I'd love more, but I don't think we need more. Like, this felt like a good finale for the franchise. And yeah, I mean, what more do you want?
It felt like a good finale, but also if they were to like go forward, they could. Like, it felt like to me, it really in a way that, like, if this was it and this is all we get for the rest of time, I'm okay with that. But if they were to continue it, I'm also okay with it because of how much joy I got in seeing the old cast back, but also how much, and I'll get into it more as we talk about the cast, how much I generally liked the new cast.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. I'd love to see, if they continue with this new cast, I'd love to see just like a small town in the Midwest dealing with a ghost problem. And, I mean, what if, this is just hypothetical, but like, what if, a first draft of the Vigo painting found its way into like a museum in town and Vigo tries to make a reawakening? I'd be on board to see that.
Ooh, yeah.
I love that.
Just like how we got Gozer and this one is for the sequel, just Vigo this time. Yeah. Just redo the villains.
I think they're iconic enough to warrant that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked here. At first, I was like, they're really. I did not think any like second about it being Gozer or anything. I was like, oh, cool, Gozer's back.
Yeah, if anything, like the hints, I was like, oh shit, they're bringing Gozer back. Like, I got excited. I'm like, oh shit, and then just seeing, like, we'll get into it, but like the brief J.K. Simmons cameo as Ivo Shandor could not have been done better. That was so great.
Yeah, I thought that was him. I was like, is that J.K. Simmons?
Yeah, it was just for a fleeting second, and then Gozer rips him in half. But I was like, this J.K. Simmons, he must be a hardcore Ghostbusters fan to have done this.
Oh, he had to be. He was probably like, I got this.
Like, I will do this for free. Just please let me be in the movie. Oh yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this movie. This was so good. So let's get into the cast and crew. Oscar nominee Jason Reitman, son of the first two films director Ivan Reitman, directs and co-writes this new film. He was nominated for Best Director for Juno and Up in the Air, the latter of which he was also nominated for Best Screenplay and Best Picture. He also directed The Front Runner, Young Adult, and Thank You for Smoking. Great filmmaker. I watched Up in the Air and Juno pretty recently. He's just a very talented guy. Have you ever seen The Front Runner?
No.
It did not make a splash. It's from 2018. It's the story of the greatest president America never had. It's in the 80s, I believe. Gary Hart. He was a Democratic candidate who had a good head on his shoulders. He seemed like a good leader. He genuinely wanted to help this country. He was in the lead. He was going to win. And then he got caught cheating on his wife, and it fucked his entire campaign. And it never went anywhere. But the movie's about him. Hugh Jackman plays Gary Hart. And it's crazy to see, like, this guy would have been such a great leader, but he couldn't keep it in his pants. And it just completely destroyed like the future of the country. It's wild. If you can find it, definitely check it out. It's a really good movie.
Okay.
But yeah, Jason Reitman could not have been a better choice for this. You know, obviously growing up with Ghostbusters, you know, his dad, him being the kid in Ghostbusters 2 who tells them they're full of crap. I love that. Did you know that?
When he says they're full of crap.
Yeah, in 2, that's Jason Reitman.
That was Jason Reitman?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow.
At the birthday party. Yeah.
I've seen that movie how many times? I've never done that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool. So in this film, we see the return of Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts, Sigourney Weaver, and the ghost of Harold Ramis. So we talked about all of them in our Filmgazm episode on Ghostbusters last week. So let's talk about the newcomers. McKenna Grace plays Phoebe, Egon's granddaughter who loves science. She was in I, Tonya, Gifted, Annabelle Comes Home, and Malignant. So she's had a pretty good couple years.
I would say.
Yeah. And she's fantastic. She did such a great job as Egon's granddaughter. Like, I believed every second of it. She was a great protagonist to root for. Well done.
Yeah, I was actually, you know, this part could have gone one of two ways. Either just really too on the nose and like a little just too much, or just, you know, that's one way it could have gone. Instead it went the other way for me, which was like, I was generally impressed with how spot on she was. And it was like, to the point that she was like one of she's probably my favorite character in the movie. Like, she is awesome. Like, I was dying laughing at all the jokes she was trying to make.
When she like used them to distract Gozer, I was laughing my ass off. Gozer just looking at her like, what is going on right now?
I like when she did the one to Paul Rudd and she winked. Did you just make a joke? Well, yeah, that's why I winked.
I just want to mention it here because I'm thinking about it. One of my favorite running gags was Paul Rudd putting on hardcore horror movies for the summer school kids. I thought that was hilarious, and nobody really reacting to it. Everybody's kind of like bored out of their mind watching Cujo and Child's Play.
You don't want to watch Cujo and Child's Play. Well, that's what you're watching.
Finn Wolfhard plays Trevor, Egon's 15-year-old grandson. He plays Mark Wheeler on Netflix's Stranger Things, and he also played young Richie in It. And this kid has grown up fucking fast. It's only been like, 4 years since It? And now he's like, I thought this kid was like, 17, 18 years old. I didn't realize it was the same kid.
Dude, it's amazing. I remember when because I've seen Stranger Things. I know you're actively trying to be a hipster against it. It's cool.
I just don't care. I have better things to do than watch a Netflix series rehash my favorite 80s movies.
You really don't. It's not rehashing, but whatever. Moving on. I won't accept how you feel about Stranger Things in any way, shape, or form.
Well, to quote Grandpa in Holes, that's too damn bad.
Stranger Things beats Holes. Now, moving on.
Well, move on then. Let's go.
Stand by. No, so since I've seen them, it's yeah, I've been amazed at that. Like, I know child actors. Obviously, they grow up, they become adults. Obviously,
really, I didn't know that.
And we all like have our growth spurts where we just fucking shoot up. But Jesus Christ, it's like he gets taller in every goddamn movie I'm watching. Because I saw him in Stranger Things, and then I watched him in it, and now this I'm like, what is he drinking? He's growing up like fucking quick.
But drinking that Ecto Cooler.
Apparently, but I liked him in this. I would say he's probably the weakest link in the.
Well, I think his character doesn't quite make a lot of sense. He goes from like kind of mean to his mom to like willing to save the world really quickly. There's not really a lot of development there. But he is a teenager. You know, teenagers flip on a dime like that. So it didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I still ultimately liked him. I just think like compared to the other three kid actors we got, I would say he's probably my least favorite.
Fair enough. Carrie Coon plays Callie, Phoebe and Trevor's mom. She played one of Thanos' children, Proxima Midnight, in Avengers Infinity War. Was also in Gone Girl, The Post, Widows, and season 3 of Fargo. And she's great in this. You can tell how much she doesn't give a fuck. I love it. She's so burned out by her life that she just does not care. And
yeah,
I love the moment where she finds like Egon's wall of photos and she finally like realizes how much he loved her. That got to me.
Yeah, it's a really nice moment because yeah, she spends the whole movie just not giving a shit. And you're like, all right. But then when she has that moment and she sees it and it's like a really sweet moment for her and Egon, it's like, oh, okay. He did love her. He legit was worrying about the potential in the world.
One thing that bothered me a bit is how the other Ghostbusters just straight up didn't believe Egon after they averted 2 apocalypses in New York. But this one is crazy.
Right? They're like, whoa. Let's calm down, Egon.
We work in New York City, Egon. Oklahoma's out of our jurisdiction. Like that seems like that was most of the discussion.
Look, there are 49 states can go fuck themselves, Egon.
Not New York State, like Manhattan only. That's where they operate. All the boroughs can go fuck themselves. Like this is it. I don't know. It seemed like an odd choice. I guess they just needed to come up with a reason why Egon would leave the Ghostbusters. I love that Gozer was just like, all right, let's try this again in Oklahoma. How many sites around the world are prepared for Gozer's return? Like how many different shrines are there?
I don't know. I feel like Gozer probably had like a plan for man. He's like, all right, this is too built up. This didn't work the first time. Let's try this bumfuck town in the middle of nowhere. No one's going to notice.
There are no proton packs in Oklahoma, probably. So we'll pull this one off. And then Egon shows up and they're like, fuck. I love that they could literally trap Gozer in the fucking ghost traps. How powerful are those things that they can capture gods? That's awesome. That was overlooked in the first movie.
I think Egon supercharged the fucking proton packs.
He must have. I mean, another thing. I know we're kind of jumping the gun here, but fuck it. Where was the destructor form? How come that didn't come up in this one?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer.
I was waiting for. I know. I doubt they were going to end it with another giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Then it would have been like pretty much like a remake. But
I would have been down for that nonetheless.
I would like a CGI modern Stay Puft destroying this town. I would have liked it too. I know we keep sucking this movie's dick, but I don't care. Well, let's move on to Paul Rudd. We've got Paul Rudd as Gary Gruberson, which everyone keeps mocking his name because that's a ridiculous name. He's the local science teacher. If you don't know who Paul Rudd is, like, I don't know why you're listening to a movie podcast, because you clearly aren't following Hollywood.
Or the fact that he's now the sexiest man or whatever that fucking award he got was.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was in the grocery store earlier today, and I saw Paul Rudd, sexiest man alive. I saw another picture. He's 52. I saw a comparison of Wilford Brimley at 52, and like, I love that right there is perfect evidence that nobody ages the same way. Because 52 Paul Rudd versus 52 diabetes, very different. Rest in peace, Wilford Brimley.
People told me that he's like 52. I'm like, no, he's not.
He has looked like that since the 90s. I don't understand. Certain actors just like, I don't know what vampire blood they have in their family tree, but they just don't age.
It is. I don't. Yeah, I was like, what's going on in your family tree? I must know.
What demon deal did your grandparents make to like for eternal youth or some shit? So Rudd is a comedy A-lister. He plays Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, in the MCU. Was also in I Love You Man, Wet Hot American Summer, Anchorman, and Knocked Up, among others. He's fucking hilarious. Super nice guy from what I hear. And he fit in perfectly in this movie.
Yeah, I know there was like some people complaining with the I was thinking about Paul Rudd.
I just keep thinking about every time I think of Paul Rudd, I think of all the times he's gone to Conan O'Brien with that fucking Mac and Me clip.
The last time I saw that, it was when he first got cast for Ant-Man. And Conan was like, all right, I know for a fact you can't show me this clip because you're with Marvel now and they have an airtight control on what they show. He's like, yeah, you're right. I can't do it. And he started actually playing the Ant-Man clip and then it turned into Mac and Me.
I love that every time Conan's like, maybe not this time. Every time. It's so fucking funny. And he's still doing it. I don't know. I know Conan's talk show ended, but I really wish it hadn't. So he could have gone on to promote Ghostbusters and done it again.
Oh my God. That would have been great.
Oh my God. Logan Kim plays Podcast, a nerdy kid with a podcast. A little too on the nose, but you know, I liked it for obvious reasons.
I was about to say, look, at first I was scared because I knew about his name before seeing the movie. So I was like, oh, God damn it. But then like when he introduced himself and like how this kid is, I was like, okay, I'm kind of cool with this because it fits his character. Like it works. This is a case where it actually works. Honestly,
it made me think like, why don't I have a travel mic? Why aren't I just going around to places and just doing this show mobile? Why aren't I doing that? That's brilliant. This is his first movie. He's never done anything else. This is his debut.
Damn, what a hell of a debut, in my opinion.
Yeah, way to win the audition, kid. Good job.
Yeah, because honestly, he was cracking me up. Him and McKenna Grace were fucking great together. I was dying half the time.
Yeah, I love that they use, it was risky making the new Ghostbusters kids, but it worked because they cast such great kids.
Yeah, and also because, again, think about it. Ghostbusters is essentially a family movie. Like, I get it. There's some stuff in that movie because it's the 80s that you probably have to have a discussion or just act like you didn't see when your kid's watching. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a family movie. So why wouldn't it makes absolute sense to me that if you do it right, having kids be next Ghostbusters would work.
Yeah, straight up. Finally, Celeste O'Connor plays Lucky, the sheriff's daughter, who Trevor has a thing for. Didn't expect her to end up being one of the Ghostbusters. That was cool.
I thought at first she was going to be a love interest, but I like what they did.
Yeah. She was in Freaky, Selah and the Spades, and Irreplaceable You. And she worked. They were just... the second they all put on the uniforms, I'm like, oh, shit, we got a team.
Yeah, uniforms that magically fit them, even though I don't think they were made for children.
They were baggy. Like, you could tell they were, like, cinching them up. Like, it was realistic, I thought.
Yeah. It was so cool to see them. And especially once we get into it, seeing them with the original cast in the suits was honestly one of, like, the biggest highlights in the movie for me.
I think it's funny that Egon brought 4 uniforms with him.
Egon would do that.
Yeah, you're right. Ghostbusters Afterlife has an IMDb score of 7.8, Rotten Tomatoes score of 61%. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's only grossed about 16.5 million on a budget of 75 million. Also, pretty low budget movie for something like this. Well done. You don't see a lot of blockbusters under $100 million budget these days.
Yeah, especially if it's, Christopher Nolan.
Oh my God.
I had to take my shot there.
One of these days, like, I hope this show reaches him somehow and he just hears us and is like, has this like, hello silence, my old friend moment, is like, what have I become? And just like, I don't, it won't happen.
I think he'll go after me and try to ruin my life. I'll be like, do it, Nolan. Fucking do it.
You ever see American Reunion?
Yeah, I have a long time ago.
Remember when that guy like threatens to sue like Oz for stealing his girl and Stifler just punches him? It's like, sue me, I don't have dick. Try it. Reminded me of that.
That would be me. Sue me, I don't give a shit. But
so
the kind of money you have, Nolan.
Try it. If anything, all you're going to do is give this show like mucho publicity and we all win. So
yeah, I was like, you look like a bad guy more than you already are. So
yeah, big Hollywood's going to step on the little guy's podcast. Yeah, that's a great headline. Anyway, fuck what Christopher Nolan has become. So fans seem to love Ghostbusters Afterlife, but critics are giving it kind of mixed reviews, saying it relies too heavily on nostalgia, what we were talking about. And I just think that those guys need to remove the stick from their ass and enjoy something for once. Because there's no, like, this movie is just a love letter to Ghostbusters fans. It's Harold Ramis's epitaph. Like, it's a movie that was made for people who love Ghostbusters. And I walked away incredibly pleased and just like, it's one of my favorites of the year so far. So I got nothing but love here.
Oh yeah, nothing but love over here. I mean, what they accomplished with this film is awesome. Like, it's like, yeah, the way they were able to do something new that was actually like very enjoyable and then still give you everything you know and love about this franchise and these characters was just handled extremely well. And all it has to do with the fact that they got a director who was the father of the original, the son, I'm all mixed up, the son of the original director. Like, so someone who clearly got what Ghostbusters means to people. Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So let's talk some highlights. We kind of been doing that already, but whatever. What are some moments that just stuck out to you?
Stuck out to me? Oh, Muncher.
Yeah, that was funny. I love that in all 3 movies, they just catch one ghost. We get Slimer, we get the Scaleri brothers, and we get Muncher.
They get one little ghost, and then they get like the main one at the end. That's it.
It's one ghost and an apocalypse in every movie, which
There's
is
no
cool.
in between.
No. But yeah, that was cool. It was cool getting in the seat, like, getting in the Ecto-1, driving it through Main Street. Phoebe, like, just wielding a nuclear weapon, blowing up this town. And the cops genuinely, like, realistically being like, what the hell is wrong with you? You can't just sling nuclear fire through our town and expect to get away with it.
Which did lead to one of my favorite callbacks was when the cop was like, when she's like, I get one phone call. He's like, you're right. You do get one phone call. And I love the pause and the lead up when he walks through and he's just, who you gonna call? I don't know. My theater, I had a decent amount of people at my theater, had a moment of just like, ah.
I went to a 4:00 screening on last Thursday, and there were only about 8 people. So I didn't get the whole theater, but I was definitely like, ah. And I was smiling.
Yeah, it was really good moment.
The theater I went to Draft House, and they had an Ecto Cooler on their specials menu.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't get it because it was expensive, but it was cool.
Don't tell Josh that he'll lose it.
Yeah, that was cool. I loved, she calls Ray, who gives the rundown of, I love that they kept Ray's a cult. Like a lot of people were like thinking, is this movie going to cancel out Ghostbusters 2? And Jason Reitman adamantly said, no. That movie's 100% canon. He took a lot from 2 to make sure people knew that. But I guess, he said people don't really know Ghostbusters 2 beyond Vigo the Carpathian. And I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah, it's funny because like I personally like Ghostbusters 2 quite a bit, but even I'm like I remember the first one more than I do the second one. But it's just because I've seen the first one so many more times, admittedly.
Yeah. I get, I like Ghostbusters 2 just because I think it's a good movie, but 1 is one of the most iconic films of all time, and no one's going to argue that. So yeah, that was cool. Let's see. I really liked the idea of the Shandor Mining Company, bringing back, Ivo Shandor and actually getting to see him and having that connection to the first Ghostbusters and, the game, which I know isn't canon, but still, just was exciting. And them finding out about Gozer and Zool and like explaining the whole Keymaster Gatekeeper like ritual. I just was like, this is great. It just kept like, this is so for the fans. And all the music was, keeping the music cues from the first movie was a great touch.
Yeah, and like I said, that I could have gone real bad bringing Gozer back. I feel like a lot of things in this movie, it could have gone real bad had they done it in a certain way. But because there's so much heart and because they did a good job with the script and everything else, that when they do bring Gozer up, it makes sense. Like it's like, oh, okay, so this is okay. And again, it goes back to like the biggest thing to me is like how they were able to get Harold Ramis into this movie, regardless of his passing, which to me was the biggest like victory I think they pulled off. Was Harold Ramis may be gone from us in person, but his spirit was in this movie, both story wise and figuratively. In this case, but, you felt him in this movie very much.
My favorite moment, hands down, is when the Ghostbusters show up and they're all blasting, and then Egon shows up beside them, and Winston's looking at him like, "What the fuck?" Like he's got this look in his eyes, like, "Are you seeing this?" He looks absolutely terrified. And I thought that was just so funny. Yeah, but it was also just, yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, even talking about when they all look at him like, the fuck?
Yeah. It was cool. And, I love that what they're able to do with CGI these days, that they can digitally recreate Harold Ramis and it doesn't look cheesy or feel offensive. It's just a touching note in the film. That's impressive and really cool. And I love when they apologize to him. They get to say goodbye. Like, oh, how do you not tear up at that? When he hugs his daughter? Jesus, man. Like, has that not hurt? Has that not hit you? It's crazy.
Oh, it hit both me and Josh. I can't imagine. I know Josh, as soon as me, and he's like, God damn it, that didn't got me. Yeah. It got me. It hits. And I think what they did right to make it hit was, and Josh pointed this one out, was they didn't have someone attempt to do his voice.
Yep.
Kept him silent. They just did a really good job in bringing his likeness back from the movie, so that you do get to see him, but you don't hear him talk. I think that just worked way better than having him speak and be, say a lot of stuff and potentially take you out of the movie.
Yeah, I agree. It might have been a little weird if somebody had tried to do a Harold Ramis impression. Because honestly, what can he possibly say that's going to, balance out the just appearance of Egon's ghost? Like, that's enough. I love, seeing Gozer again was pretty sweet. I love when Podcast trapped one of the dogs. Speaking of, I think I brought this up in the Wednesday Filmgazm when we did Ghostbusters. If I didn't, I meant to. Why is it that Zool is so cool and calculated and like smart, and the Keymaster is a fucking dope? Like, that dog is stupid, straight up. I don't know.
I don't know. I do like. I did laugh when they finally meet each other, and they're supposed to be like saying like demonic dog voices.
I like your eyes. That was funny. Yeah, it's the whole ritual was really cool. I love how we get to see more Ghostbusters tech, like Egon's giant trap farm and all that shit. That was really sweet. The mini Stay Puffs were ridiculous, but made perfect sense. I thought that was great when they start attacking podcast, and he's just like freaking out in the back of the car.
Like, podcast, can you help? I'm dealing with my own problem.
That was great. Yeah, and then getting to see, the team, the old team and the new team work together to trap Gozer once and for all was awesome and just very satisfying. Also, I thought it was really cool when they trapped one of the dogs and Gozer's like half formed now, like skeletal and all fucked up. That was neat.
That was cool as shit. I do remember when the team popped up for a while there. After towards the end, as I could tell we were getting to the movie, I was like, when are the OGs going to come back? I was like, I know for a fact they're in it. It's been widely, I should say, reported that they're going to be in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's like, so where are they? And then when I finally heard Bill Murray's voice and they showed all three, I was like, yes,
yeah.
They're there.
Hey, flat top. Like, I knew that's when it was going to be right at the wire. I knew that. Like, it was going to be, the old teams, or the new teams all, they're losing. Gozer's going to win. And then who should show up but the OGs to make this, to take it home. I knew it. I knew that was when it was going to happen.
I did like the joke also, by the way, when it's found out that Dan Ray is the one subscriber to podcast.
That was great. The show really found its voice in episode 46. That was perfect. I loved that. I love the whole, like, that Winston became a finance, like, mogul and hired, like he said, he started with one employee. And I like to think that one employee is Lewis, Rick Moranis' character, the accountant.
I hope so much.
Yeah. I was really hoping he was going to have a last minute appearance or something, but I get, I get why. It's okay. Sigourney Weaver's appearance at the end was cute. I'm glad, like, her and Venkman are still together, and she was quizzing him with the cards and zapping him. That was cute.
Yeah, at first that was another thing. I was like, the credits were, I was like, what the fuck is Sigourney Weaver? Like, I know she's in this movie. And then, like, they pop up the title, like, and Sigourney Weaver. And then the scene shows and you see her, and I'm like, yes.
You stayed for the second scene, right?
Yes, I did.
Good man. Yeah. I love that Winston's been paying the rent on Raise a Cult for years because he has never turned a profit. Good friend.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way that place is doing good. And yeah, he's just been paying for it.
Oh, yeah, this was fantastic. I'm looking forward to buying this. I want to watch this again. This is, when I do a Ghostbusters rewatch, I'm going to do all three of these films. It just feels like the natural conclusion. And I'm so glad they were able to do this, and they did it well. Way to go. 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it's oh man, it's hard on the score for me. This was really, 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 really good. And like I've been saying, they did such a good job, putting together the old and the new into this movie. And I couldn't be happier with the finished product and how they handled Harold Ramis's character and his passing in real life. So for me, right now it's a very high 8, but it's very close to a 9. This was a damn good movie.
Yeah, fair enough. Well done. Definitely go see it. It needs the money. It's worth the experience. Any Ghostbusters fan is going to love this. And I think any newcomers are going to be intrigued and want to go check out Ghostbusters. But honestly, I don't know how you've made it this far in your life as a film fan without watching Ghostbusters. It's one of those films that I just assume everybody has seen,
Yeah. It's one of those you just assume people are like, oh, you've seen this.
Yeah. There's like 5 or 6 movies where I don't even ask people. I'm just like, I just start talking about it because I assume you're a human being. You have a TV. You've seen it.
You have a pulse. You're alive.
Yeah. Oh, but some people surprise you, man. And it's like, I want to tell them, like, stop talking to me. Go watch this. Then come back and we'll have a conversation.
Shut your mouth. Just shut up. Go watch this movie. I'll wait. I got nothing on my schedule.
Clearly. Oh, boy. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. This was fun. If you like what we do, feel free to follow us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films or just give us some feedback, you can always hit us up on the socials or email us at filmgazm@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, you can click on support this podcast on your preferred podcast provider. We appreciate any donations, but of course, it is not necessary. We hope you just enjoyed the show. Next week, we get the Ridley Scott crime drama biopic House of Gucci, as well as Disney's Encanto and the video game movie Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. So next week's going to be a mixed bag. We're going to, I think between the two of us, we're going to see all these films. And we'll also be doing some, some countdown shit. Probably going forward, the show is going to be very countdown heavy, a lot of cool, just random recastings and rankings and just fun shit like that. We have more fun doing that, and I have a feeling like y'all have more fun listening to it. So why don't we make everybody happy?
What they want.
Yeah, give the people what they want. Don't miss the 1982 Alien movie Extra on Wednesday's Filmgazm and Ridley Scott's Black Hawk Down on Oscar Sunday. Have a great week and keep watching movies.